That's awesome. Anyway, going back to this cool thing instead of this not so cool thing. Okay, Onion made a video about it. That's funny. We'll look at that in a second. Going back to this cool thing, what I was saying is like optics do matter to those who are uninitiated. Optics do matter to those who are on the outside looking in. That's why I always stress the importance of putting your best foot forward when talking about Palestine, when talking about Palestinian issues. If you want to be good, if you want to actually be productive, I try to do that as well to the best of my ability. And yet people still smear you no matter what. And I'm shocked that Fox News, even in their morning program, would have a Jewish Voice for Peace student. What? Yikes. Cut off the breaking points debate in a very disingenuous place. Convenient. Wait, there's more to the fucking breaking points debate? I apologize, chatter, that we've moved on to things that actually matter. I like that you think that I watched this debate ahead of time, saw the worst part of the debate, and cleverly and with mischief showed the worst part of the debate, which I guess you also recognize was not looking too good for him. I'm glad we both agree that his performance in the 7 minutes that I saw, which I assume you think is out of context, even a 7-minute clip is out of context at this point, was actually, was definitely not looking too good for him. I swear to God, if you were as good as a manipulator and mastermind as your haters make you out to be, there'd be global communism already. Yeah. Anyway. So, as I was trying to state, it's important to have good optics in this situation, and these guys certainly have it. They'll still be lied about, or oftentimes vilified, or rarely ever get any kind of opportunity to speak their truth in mainstream media. So it's interesting.
And I, as an individual, I don't believe that this safety should have come at the expense of Palestinians who have faced over 7 decades of ethnic cleansing, and of course the most recent round of violence that's led to 35,000 Palestinians dead, 1.9 million displaced, imminent starvation.
Right.
These are the here. That's what brings me to this movement.
Gotcha. So where do you are in support of people who are saying that the violence against Palestinians in Gaza is wrong? Where do you come down on October 7th and the violence against Israelis that was perpetrated by Hamas?
Yeah, absolutely. My heart breaks for everyone that's been affected by this violence. That goes for Israelis and Palestinians. And at the same time, I believe that one war crime does not justify other war crimes. As a person in the United States, I see my government backing one party to this conflict, and providing weapons and funding and political cover. And so I believe my role is to address my own complicity and the complicity of the government under which I am a citizen.
President Biden spoke about this a little while ago in terms of, he talked about violence, he talked about free speech. He also...
Is there more?
Police.
Oh.
Ben Kirsten is a student at UCLA. He's
no, this is the same.
Own complicity and the complicity of the government.
In terms of, he talked about violence, he talked about free speech. He also talked about the anti-Semitism that we see being fomented on some college campuses across the country. Listen to what the president said a short time ago.
Jesus, that dude won the genetic lottery? No, man, he's just a good person. And when you're a good person and you advocate for good causes, it clears up your skin. You become more physically attractive to everybody else. That's how it works. Not that like physical attraction matters in this circumstance, but that's why he has this aura to him, okay? Because he's a good person. It's that simple.
There should be no place on any campus, no place in America for anti-Semitism or threats of violence against Jewish students.
Now that's bull. No, man, it's not bullshit. Many of you are just insecure. Okay? That's all this is. You think you're unattractive, but you actually are. Okay? You are. Everyone is attractive to somebody. Many of you think you're not, but you actually are, and you lack the confidence to recognize that, especially if you are, on the right side of history, okay? What do I always say? Yes, every man can be a 7. Every man can be a 7. Everybody can be a 7. And 7 is fucking awesome. You once said anyone could be a 7 and it changed my life? Absolutely. Yeah. Go to the gym, be a kind individual. I mean, dude, come on. You guys saw a person unconditionally defending Israel's genocide.
Evil.
It goes to the same point that I was making earlier. Okay? Sure, he could be a 7 too. When you defend ugly actions, it just shows,
There is no place for hate speech or violence of any kind, whether it's anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, or discrimination against Arab Americans or Palestinian Americans.
So, Ben, you have been in there amongst the protesters. Have you witnessed any anti-Semitism? Have you witnessed support for Hamas?
In my experience, I have not. And I would say that this is a place where President Biden and I agree. I think there is no place for anti-Semitism. And one of my values as part of this movement is a commitment to Jews and Jewish communities. I respect the feelings of others when they feel that this is something that when they feel that they've experienced anti-Semitism. And what I think means is that we need to deal much more critically and rigorously with the problem of anti-Semitism because it is a real problem. And yet we need to be able to distinguish between, say, a protest chant or something that makes us uncomfortable and maybe even conflicts with things that we've been taught from a very young age, and material violence, hatred. So while that's not my experience, I respect that there are feelings that others have, and I would say that as part of this movement, I can attest that there are, I feel welcome not just as an organizer, but also as a Jewish person. We made Jewish programming a regular part of the encampment, and I think it was a really beautiful space for learning and community building.
So just really quickly before you go, and I hope that you can hear me, what do you say to
phenomenal.
And I think it was a really beautiful space for learning and community building.
So just really quickly before you go, and I hope that you can hear me, what do you say to and we've talked to plenty of them, Jewish students?
I think this is having this dude be the guy who talks to Fox News. I think part of that actually comes from the fact that they just can't get anyone to speak on camera from the pro-Palestinian encampment unless they are a media liaison. which is, again, demonstrating phenomenal messaging discipline, demonstrating incredible organizing right there. The fact that you can have so many college students there and you literally are like, no, this is the person that's going to speak is great. The fact that they're doing that voluntarily, the fact that they're able to organize in this regard, in this way, and people voluntarily say, yeah, no, I'm not going to be answering questions. Thank you very much. You can go to the media liaison for this kind of thing, is forcing the media's hand into having to talk to people that are phenomenal representatives of the movement, of the student encampment. It's great. I have seen so many progressive movements over the course of the past 10 years of my coverage and support to said progressive movements fall apart in the media machine. They have a very deliberate tactic in the media. They go for whoever they can who is going to speak in a way that is not very educated or come across unhinged. They try to emotionally pick apart your argument and try to get you to react in a way that's angry, right? Just so they can say, look, see, this person represents the entire movement and it's bad. Yeah, the r/anti-work moderator that Jesse Waters had on stream comes to mind, right? It's just a way to just completely fucking belittle anything and everything that a movement represents by portraying everyone as like silly. It's perfectly normal to come across silly and emotional, especially if you're not like trained, especially if you're not ready to go up against a media professional who's been doing this for fucking as long as this kid has been alive. You know what I mean? That guy is a professional a commentator, a journalist, and has a long career of doing exactly this. So proud of these guys, man. I'm very proud of the student organizers and the fact that they just refuse to speak to the media randomly, causing them to have to go to the proper channels. Mr. Hamas Piker, king of grifters, alhamdulillah. Hey, Hasan, ever considered not being a piece of shit grifter? If you can explain to me why I am a grifter and somehow go against the values that I defend without mentioning the top of the hour ad break because it's 10 minutes in yet, okay? Did you get promoted? I am the king of grifters, yeah. He unfollowed, he can't even type. Shit. I was going to say I'll gift 100 gifted subs. Wait, he can. He's a subscriber. Go ahead. I'll gift 100 gifted subs. If you can explain to me how I am a grifter, what you think a grifter is, and how I am a grifter.